pop in me dime. Obey, Jama training can. No have to find out to swing. Obey, dear, up a riding on. Yeah, obey, Jama training can. No have to find out to swing. Obey, dear, up a riding on. Support you.
Alright, so I'm sure you might be asking yourself, or you're wondering why we're playing this song. Well, you get to understand why we chose this song and why the song is playing in a bit. But as it stands now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, who is also MP for Adansiasakwa, Kobna Tahir Hammond, has another opportunity to lay before Parliament an ally that seeks to restrict the importation of some 22 items, which of course includes guts, bladders, and stomachs of animals. And when I talk about the stomach of animals, the white man or Obroni will call it the offal, but in Ghana we call it yamadie. They also want to restrict the importation of poultry products plus other items amounting to some 22. Now this has generated a lot of talkability in Parliament, where the minority are hoping that the minister would do some amendments to the LI before it's laid before Parliament. If all goes well, he might lay before Parliament tomorrow. Well, other people who are are stakeholders, let me say industry players, have concerns about the idea of the Minister for Trade and Industry, where he wants to limit the importation or restrict the importation of some 22 items. Now picture this. Ghana in 2021 alone, in the year 2021, imported about $65.7 million of offal or yamadia. That's how much we imported into Ghana. Yamadia and imported by Ghana in 2021 amounted to some $65.7 million. That's how much we imported into the country. Now, if we want to place restrictions on the importation of some of these things, question is, are local farmers well equipped enough to meet the demands of the local consumption that we're looking for, plus the other poultry products? If we say we want to restrict the importation, how well equipped are our local farmers to be able to meet the demands of the local consumers? So this morning we want to have a conversation on this to assess the impact of foreign meat products on Kumasi's culinary identity and the abattoir business. But the way, which one do you prefer when it comes to the kotojis and the yamadias and stuff like that? Even the akoko, which one do you prefer, the local ones or the imported ones? Leo Stanley, when I mentioned Leo Stanley a while ago, and I was telling one of my guests that Leo Stanley do this for me, he was, so that's Leo Stanley. And the person who said that was Michael Tongban, and he is a production manager for the Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
And Michael says he listens to us every day, so that's how he knows Leo Stanley, and he knows that when I mention Leo Stanley, Well, the minister, when he was speaking, on this matter as to why we need to have some restrictions, mentioned that in 2021 we imported about 13.6 billion items into the country. That's how much worth of things we imported into the country, 13.6 billion. ASA has done some work that says that in 2022 we increased it by 1 billion. So in 2022, all the things that were imported into the country was put together is about 14.6 billion. But interestingly, these are on oil and gas. The higher ones are on oil and gas imports, and that that's from ASA. They said most of it is on gas and oil and gas importation. But when it comes to the non-consumables, that dipped. So this morning we want to find out from our guests in the studios of Love 99.5 what they make of the call by the Trade and Industry Minister, and whether locally we are prepared to be able to meet the demands of consumers. Also with us in the studios of Love 99.5, aside from Michael Tongban, is the Chief Butcher, Wahab Ibrahim. Wahab, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Trust you're well.
Yeah, thank you.
And also I have with us the Acting Chairman for the Kumasi Cattle Breeders and Dealers Association, Alhaji Bababrila. Alhaji, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave.
And good to have you join us in the studios of Love 99.5. Michael, let me start off the conversation with you. So what do you make of the call by the Trade and Industry Minister? But before you even do that, give us a bit of a background idea as to what the abattoir does on a daily basis. What's your role? What's your job?
Thank you very much. Like you mentioned, my name is Michael Tongban of Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited. Our core business is to slaughter, dress, and process food animals for the public. And in the course of slaughter and dressing, we have two types. We have the singeing and we have the flaying.
What the singeing? What is
When I
flaying?
talk of the singeing, it is the process of burning the fur of the animal with LPG gas. Mostly we use that one with flames, but we use LPG gas. And then scraping the suit away and washing it. That is the singeing. And flaying is the process of separating the skin, herein called the hide, so far as abattoir is concerned, taking the hide away from the meat. So that meat is called flayed carcass, and the other one is called singed carcass, or singed meat, or flayed meat. So Kumasi Abattoir was actually commissioned on the 24th July 1998 to carry on slaughter and dressing of food animals. So now that is our core business. We are also into processing. We add more value to the raw meat that we produce and turn them to sausages, burgers, ham sausages, and what have you for the public. So far as abattoir is concerned, we have the capacity to slaughter a lot.
On a daily basis?
On a daily basis, we started in 1998, we could slaughter 330, 320 averagely cattle a day. And then later, it drops to around 280, came to 250. As I speak, around 150 is the average slaughter.
From 320 to 150, what has caused that, big dip?
Yes. And one of the causes are the one that we are speaking to, that is the importation of foreign meat. The offals that we all mention, it is the stomach.
The Yamadia.
The Yamadia. The Yamadia in Ghana, when you want to say Yamadia, the complete Yamadia is that one, it includes the viscera, that's the intestines.
Okay.
But they bring only the stomach.
Okay.
And then the trotters, and then the liver.
Okay.
And only the heart, that is what is being brought in.
Imported. Okay.
But the small intestines are not brought in.
Okay.
Incomplete, we call it the Yamadia, or incomplete, we call it viscera.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one is one of the major causes of the low patronage of the local meat.
How can you explain this to myself and my listeners? The importation of these offals, how come that is affecting the slaughtering of 320 cattle a day? How?
Okay. The butchers that are actually in the business, they sell the Yamadia to support their business. So there are dealers that are also dealing with the offals. So far as these importation of these offals were introduced, or Yamadia was introduced, that one is cheaper.
The foreign ones are cheaper?
They are cheaper.
Okay.
In most of the Western countries, they don't actually patronize those ones. So normally they are being imported to this way at a very cheaper cost. But if you also compare the taste, it is not like the local ones. It's actually tasteless if you compare it with the local offers that we're talking about. So what people do is they go to buy the cheaper one, come and blend with the abattoir products to get the taste for the public.
Is that to say that they don't buy?
If they are unable to sell the offals, the butchers are able to sell the offals, the next day slaughter activities has to come down. So it keeps on dwindling. They are also bringing in trotters. When I say trotters, that's cow feet. Yeah. Kotoje. In simple, it's kotoje. That one too is also, you see them very big.
Yeah.
You don't even know what type of animals do they slaughter.
Why, you don't believe that they are cattle?
At all.
You don't believe they are cattle?
To me, some of them are too big, more than that.
But it's a farm. I mean, it's a farm that is coming from. It depends on how they are fed, the treatment that they are given. That makes them grow big.
So we actually don't know how these animals are handled over there in terms of hygiene, and we don't know how even important the duration it stayed in the overseas before it gets to this place.
It takes a long time on this on the sea. Yeah.
So that is one thing, and so the abattoir that is producing the local beef and the local offals, we are sure of the quality of the meat.
We'll talk about the qualities shortly.
Yes.
But there was a question I wanted to ask you, and you were still making a point. I'm looking at the foreign ones that have been slaughtered and then have been packaged, then are shipped at a cost to Ghana. They are cheaper. But the ones that we grow here, the cattle that we raise here, their offals are expensive. These are locally produced ones. These ones have been slaughtered, then the offals removed, packaged, put on a ship on the high seas at a cost, and yet they are cheaper. How come?
That is why I'm saying that in the Western countries they don't patronize such pass.
Okay.
So they are more or less being
dumped here. Okay, so if we don't, they don't eat it.
They
so
don't eat it.
But for we patronizing it, they would have thrown it away. Anyway,
that is a matter.
Oh, okay.
So that is why when it comes here, it's cheaper. Anything that you buy very expensive there, you can't bring it here and come and sell it at a very cheaper cost.
I see.
And when you come to our own local animals, they are being fed with pasture, and the taste is quite different. And the cost of rearing cattle is not easy. That's why sometimes it's very expensive. And mostly we import most of these cattle. We get about 75 to 80% from Mali and Burkina. You understand? So actually the cost is always.
So why can't we? And let me come to you, Alhaji Brela, on this one. Now, but even before I come to Alhaji Brela on this one, Michael Tongbang, tell me. So, which means that based on the challenges you are having at the abattoir, where on a daily basis you could slaughter about 320. Now it's reduced to like 150. You support the call to restrict the importation of some of these products, yes?
Yes, I support that there's a restrict because it will inure to the benefit of the company and the local people in Ghana. If I want to list the employment abattoir,
we'll get there. We'll get there. But again, if you support the restriction, a question that is on my mind is by how many % should we restrict? Because we're looking at restriction, we're looking at whether locally we can meet the demands of the consumers. By how many % should we restrict this by?
I think it should be total restriction.
Total restriction.
So far as Yamadia is concerned.
Can you provide to meet the market?
We can.
Yeah, are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Based on what?
We can.
Based on what?
Because abattoir, our capacity is 500 cattle a day. We can slaughter 500 cattle a day. So if the market is available, we can produce and supply the market. And we also have about 8 chiller facilities where we can preserve these offers even if today there's no market.
How about affordability? You are saying that the imported ones are cheaper, which means that the local ones are a bit expensive. So if you say a total ban or a total ban on the importation of offals, for example, can the Ghanaian afford your offals?
Yes, they can afford because we will bring more into the market, and when we bring more, when the demand is the one products are more than the demand. Definitely the prices will come down.
Alhaji Brela, let me come to you. You are the acting chairman for the Kumasi Cattle Dealers and Breeders Association. You want to say something? What do you want to say? And his name is Alhaji Baba Brela.
And at the same time, I'm the Kasi Fulani chief.
You are the
Kasi
Fulani chief. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. You asked a question that concerning the capacity. What my brother was saying is right, because right now those who bring the cows down
from
Burkina,
okay,
as he was saying, if they come and don't get the market, if the cows are not bought, they will reduce coming. Some will divert to La Côte d'Ivoire. As we're speaking now, he said something that in 90s, abattoir was slaughtering 300 plus, and right now, maximum is 150.
Maximum. And minimum is?
Minimum is 130.
It's right. It depends on the market. You take your goods to market to get bought. If you bring your goods to market and they are not bought, you too will lose. So next time you won't come. You monitor some place. As I'm speaking to you now, the market in La Côte d'Ivoire is very good.
In terms of purchasing cattle?
Yes, in terms of butchers purchasing the cattle. And we sell the cows to butchers. The butchers, if they go and they get loss from the selling of their the meat, you see, the work will come down.
Let me throw in two questions.
And it will affect the company too.
I hear you. We'll talk about that because he wants to talk about the number of employed staff they have and all. But I asked him a question, Alhaji Brilla. If we
have the capacity.
Where is the capacity? Because the point is, we are not breeding cattle ourselves. We are buying from Mali. Now, not long ago when there was this war in Niger and the borders were closed, you and I know the challenge we had with onions. So if we say we have the capacity, capacity in the sense that are we having our own cattle ranches or farms?
Yes, I'm coming to that. Right now, as we are speaking, we have a kraal at Walwale, northeast. There is a kraal at northern region, Tamale. A kraal at Gupe, Kintampo, Bunu East, and the rest. The whole Ghana, there are kraals and there are cattle. 2021 or 2022, the government of the day forms a committee, that ranching committee, unless the government strengthens that committee. If the committee is strengthened, I think we will get to where we want. You see, because our main problem now is our cattle in Ghana here, the herders and the crop farmers, their problems is also affecting us.
Explain further.
The herders, those who have the cows, if they take their cows to grazing, they meet some problems and challenges with the crop farmers.
No, because the way you go about it, elsewhere, you have a ranch where feed is brought to the cattle.
That is why I was talking about the committee, the ranching committee.
To be strengthened.
It needs to be strengthened. It needs to be strengthened. So the government should be serious about the committee. One of our men in Ashanti region here, our chief, Fulani chief in Kumasi, he's part of the committee. So we have the news. The government needs to strengthen that committee.
By doing what?
By providing them with the necessary support.
What support are we talking about here?
I think it will be funds.
Funds?
Yes.
Okay.
So that they will also form regional committees of the ranching, for the ranching. That one will help.
In strengthening them.
In terms of the capacity, we have them.
In strengthening.
So many cattle in Ghana.
But in strengthening them, is that to suggest that they will not go out grazing? They will be kept at the ranch and be fed?
Yeah. It could be done.
But Alhaji, too, I don't know whether you'd agree with me on this or not. But even when you look at our local cattle, if you look at the way their sizes are, many don't even appreciate it. We rather want that one from the Burkina Faso and Co. True or false?
Their sizes.
Yes.
Go to Bole and Bamboy and see. Go to Solatuna. We have them. Plenty, even Tamale. We have them. We will afford because we have so many cattle now in Ghana. We have so many cattle. So it is the committee that needs the support of the government.
Okay. Now, in rearing cattle, Michael, I'll come to you shortly. Please forgive me. Please note it down. I'll come to you. In rearing cattle, how expensive is it? I mean, it's a business that people, I know Alhaji, Grusa and Co. are in there and all that.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
That's what you wanted to talk about. All right. So I'm going to look at how expensive it is to be in that business. Because feeding them, giving them their medications, is not cheap. So if we say that, well, we're going to support what the trade minister is saying, and therefore, like, Michael Tongban said, let's have a total ban. Not even a restriction from Michael. He says a total ban. Do we have what it takes to be able to feed them, to be able to, give them the right medications? Because I have friends who've said to me that even they are into what they call it, poultry.
They old.
No, not they old. The poultry business is collapsing. How much more big animals like cattle do you have what it takes?
We have.
Is it not just English you are giving me this morning?
No, it's not just English. We have.
Michael, please, let me hear you.
Yeah, the problem in Ghana is that the animals are there, but they are for prestige rearing.
Meaning what?
Meaning that people just have them plenty, like the Alhaji Guzers, the chiefs, the ministers. They have a flock, plenty animals, but they are not for commercial basis. So when I say prestige rearing, they just want to get up and just see that I have about 1,000 cattle. They are very nice. You just look at them, and they are okay. They will call it prestige rearing. And so if it comes that Ghana want to go commercial, we can be able to feed the country. So we have the capacity. We have the land.
Where will you get the food from? Where will you get the food from to feed them?
They will be grazed. They'll be doing grazing. You know, that's why I told you that they're being fed with pasture. As compared to the Western countries where they use chemicals.
They don't use chemicals. I mean, sometimes I haven't been to a ranch outside, but at least when you watch movies, you realize that they've dried grass and then they feed them to their horses. They feed them
a lot of supplements.
They give them, you know, to but that is medication to make them healthier and to grow. Just the poultry business. Poultry, don't we have good
chemicals?
Hold on,
chemicals.
Poultry, local poultry. Don't we even give them, you know, chemicals?
Yeah, but the thing is, how do you compare that one with the local ones?
Exactly.
The Chinese people I work with, for instance, they will never buy the poultry.
Yes.
No, they will never even touch
because
it.
of the
the ones that we import that is in the boxes. They think we are crazy eating that.
So Ibrahim Wahab, you are the chief butcher, and I remember that position is a very big position, because I remember some 2 years ago or so, there was some big fight at Mayanka because everybody wanted his group to have the chief butcher position. So this morning we are lucky to have Chief Butcher with us. What do you make of the conversation we've had so far?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that just the one you talked about, I believe we were doing so simply because of what we are discussing today. And I believe that the meat industry in Africa in general is way back. Behind.
Why do you think it's so?
Yes, because when you compare other countries like Brazil, Australia, even the United States of America.
And not to cut you, the Brazil you mentioned and the Australia you mentioned, those are the places that we're bringing the offals from.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So when you look at those particular countries and look at what the industry contribute to their GDP, you know that Africa here we are joking. We are joking. And when you talked about where are we going to get food to graze these particular animals? Brazil use over 70% of their land to graze cattle. And currently, as I speak to you, in Brazil, we have about 194 million cattle.
In Brazil, we have how many million cattle?
194 million.
And when it comes to the offals, we import $2.92 million of offals from Brazil. And you said they have how many cattle?
194 million cattle.
How many cattle do we have in Ghana?
Currently in Ghana, it will be very difficult.
We don't have data. In everything we don't have data.
Yeah, we don't have data.
Ghana.
That is our problem. Brazil being the second highest country in the world to have animals after India. India have over 310 million animals within India. When you come to Australia have about 74 million cattle as I speak to you today. And you see, Australia meat is being purchased more than any other country in the world because they use grass fed.
Okay.
They feed their animals with grass.
And that is healthier.
And that is healthier.
And more wholesome.
And more wholesome. And when you look at Australia and Ghana, our land size, the way our land is, you know, Australia is just about the mining and then the meat industry that can contribute to their economy over 74 billion United States dollars every year. Every year. So in Ghana here, we have such land, we have such space.
In your estimation, forgive me, in your estimation, why do you think as a nation we haven't put down a proper plan to say that when it comes to, for example, livestock, cattle, this is the plan we're going to roll with. When it comes to, let's say, poultry, this is how we're going to go. When it comes to piggery, this is how we're going to go. Because when it comes to land and grass to feed them with, we have it all. Why don't we have a proper plan like the Brazilians, like the Indians, like the Netherlands you're talking about? Why don't we have it?
Yes. You see, Nkrumah, the visionary Nkrumah started something. Nkrumah knew very well that a cattle can be grown starting from the Bunahaf region. So Nkrumah started building a cattle ranches, starting from Wanchi all the way down to the northern sector. After Nkrumah, no government has ever visited that particular project. And you see, currently, as I speak to you, in the Gonja land itself, only Gonja land,
Savannah,
over 1 million hectares of land is there since God created this earth. Nobody has ever used in that particular land to do anything. Using 1 million hectares to grow animals in this particular country on that particular small place, we'll be able to grow millions of animals on that particular land. When you go to Australia, that is how they do. They divide the land into pieces. Like they take about
semi-intensive.
Yes, 20, 30 acres of land or 50 acres of land. They'll grow grass there, moving the animals to a different place, and then within a month or so, they bring those particular animals back to that particular to the same place for grazing, and also growing grasses over there. So I think that government over the years, successive governments are not putting weight into this.
But Ibrahim Wahab, you're a chief butcher. Yeah. I'm sure you are friends. Maybe he's even your brother.
Yeah.
The acting chairman for the breeders and dealers of cattle in Kumasi. Have you come together to speak to, let's say, the regional minister? Have you come together to meet with the agriculture minister and say, listen, give us the support, give us the assistance, give us the financial whatever. We will be able to do this and feed
you see,
the local consumers.
We have a mother. The butchers have a mother association that is being headed by the Greater Accra Chief Butcher, who is the president of that particular association. Over the years, they have made several attempts to meet governments to come to their aid on these particular issues, and it feels futile because when you look at the current Ashanti regional minister, I believe he was a minister who came to the abattoir, and Mr. Michael Tangbane is here. When he entered into abattoir is the third largest market in Ashanti region, and many people did not know, including the regional minister. When he got there, he was surprised. He did not know, the whole regional minister did not even know that there is such activities in Ashanti region here. He always passed through our gates. Our sector is being neglected to a level that even when you call yourself butcher, that is a perception out there. People think that, in fact, you are out of the system at all.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it makes us feel very bad, and also those who are in that particular business, we look at them as they are ignorant. If they know what the sector is contributing contributing to the
economy of Ghana.
The economy of Ghana, they wouldn't be doing it.
Alhaji Brila, tell me this, because we've heard about planting for food and jobs. Then we heard about rearing for food and jobs. You are into cattle rearing. You have friends who are into cattle rearing. Was there any support given to farmers by way of just rearing for food and jobs?
No.
When it comes to the rearing bit,
No.
None of your members have gotten anything.
At all.
We have never been invited to those particular. It's just
these offals that we import. Do we know who owns it? Who is behind it? Is it some political big person who is behind it? And therefore, because the person is a politician, is making money, we don't want to look at the local bit and grow it. Who are importing these things?
It will be very difficult for us to point who is behind that. Who is behind that? But I think we are also doing a very great disservice to this particular country. You see, we can't sit in Ghana promoting the South African farmer, the Botswanan farmer, leaving our own farmers.
I agree with you.
Yeah, there are people in Ghana who has money, who wants to go into cattle
rearing.
It's because the place is not confined. They don't know. If you get, like Michael mentioned, some people have the animal, not that they don't want to sell. If we have at least a proper, the abattoir we have here in West Africa now becomes the second
biggest and viable.
Abattoir. After one in Nigeria, they just built
Kumasi Abattoir?
Yeah, Kumasi
is the second biggest.
Yeah, first it used to be the first the biggest abattoir in West Africa.
And
when we
and now Nigeria has beaten you to it.
Yes.
So we are the second.
Yeah, we are second now. When we start, Nigeria, University of Ibadan and Co, they all came.
Yeah.
And that is another area people did not know. All our science-related students across this particular country come to abattoir every day.
That I know. That
yes,
I know.
That is to study. And many people did not know, or the government. You see, we have cocoa in this particular country. Our chocolate is very expensive. Very expensive. And many people did not know that it is expensive because we don't have milk. When government put measures into this particular things and we can produce a lot of, we can graze a lot of cattle in this particular country, we'll be able to produce more milk.
When
you're able to meet all
when you mention Kwame Nkrumah and the idea he had, when it comes to cattle rearing and the ranches from the Bono area all the way up north, I ask myself, if as a country we have our focus right. And this morning, Eugene and I were having a conversation about some people raising concerns, that we should not forget about parties and their manifestos. Forget about parties and manifestos. Let's have a national plan of a sort. I remember we had some 40-year development plan. We have not made use of that 40-year development plan. But if we focus on things that this country needs, we'll be able to make enough money, create enough jobs, and then feed ourselves. I mentioned the amount of money that we're using to import some of these, offals. We're helping build somebody else's economy. And let me come to you, Michael. How wholesome are these meats? So they don't eat the offals. No. They don't eat the cotoges and co. They import them. You're saying that when you see the size of the cotoje, the foreign one, now we am crash. You are wondering whether they are normal or whatever. How wholesome are the meats that we're eating? These foreign ones.
Yeah.
Let's compare them to the local ones.
Yeah, that is why I'm saying that for the local one, we as Kumasi Abattoir, what we do and we are sure of hygiene is that we have a veterinary services department that are working with us. As I speak, there are always six standby veterinary officers. What we do is immediately the animals are discharged from the various borders and they arrive in Kumasi Abattoir. First of all, we have to intercept them at the gate and then query them as to where the animals are coming from. Because in case of outbreak, you don't have to be complacent and just accept any animal. Unlike the anthrax that happened around May, yes, there was a ban of animals from Upper East region. So we have to be inquisitive and find out where the animals are coming from in the first place. And then when we get that record and finished, then the veterinary will come in and carry on what we call pre-slaughter inspection. Proper scrutiny. They will scrutinize the animals and then we now allow them into our kraal for sale. And then after the person or the butcher or any other individual that want to come and slaughter his or her animal, because everybody is allowed to walk into the abattoir, go into the market and then pick, then we'll kill for you. So when you acquire it and finish and we'll slaughter again, the antemortem, we don't just say, oh, we have already examined them when they were alive. No, we go into what we call post-mortem inspection. That is slaughter, inspection after slaughter. And they go deep down to make sure the meat that is coming out from Kumasi Abattoir are always wholesome. And we have our pathological finding book there. Any little thing we see, we record it so that we can always testify that abattoir is doing good work.
Question
so
is how
any animal that is having
how well do we know that this same process is what is done in Brazil?
That is why
done
we're saying
in
that
India.
We don't know how they go through.
Let me even come in here. You see,
Charlie.
Viscerals like the intestine, what we are bringing here. Even packaging it over there and bring it. You can't package it and bring it here. You have to add some chemicals.
Preserve it because it's going to be a very long time on the high seas.
On the high seas, and that alone make it very dangerous for human consumption. That alone make it very, and people did not know. We even don't know that the type of animals that we are eating.
They are importing the visitor.
And that's what I'm saying. That if a horse is the number 8 meat people consume in the world. Many people did not know that. And looking at our culture here, there are certain things that we don't eat.
We don't eat horses. So if they bring it, but that is, so I spoke to somebody from the donkeys, FDA. If they're bringing horses and donkeys for us to eat,
how can we know?
I'm going to say this. I'm not mentioning the name of anybody.
They do though.
No, they do what?
donkeys and the...
Yeah,
They
they
know
bring.
it.
They bring.
They know it.
They bring it to
No,
us.
what he's saying, you're not getting it.
Yes.
Do you eat horse? Do you eat
type
horse?
of animals that they are bringing.
No, do you eat horse?
No.
Do you eat the viscerals of a horse?
No.
The offals of a horse? So if it's coming and it's packaged as offals for a cattle, you don't know whether it's horse or donkey.
Or donkey.
You understand? That is what he's saying. They might label it as cattle, but it could be anything. Now, I spoke to some FDA friends of mine this morning, and asked them what they do in terms of inspection when these foreign, offals and viscerals and the cotodries are coming in. I asked him, how well do you do the inspection for us to know that they are wholesome and we are safe? The first thing the person did was sighed. He waited for like 5-10 seconds and said, David, do you know why I sighed? I said, no. He says, we don't know.
They don't know.
That doesn't matter.
And it is the truth I'm telling our listeners this morning. How do I determine what the wholesome meat is, Michael?
Yeah, that is why I'm saying that the wholesome meat can only be determined by the veterinary services.
But the naked eye cannot see it.
Which are working with us. Naked eye, if you are not a professional, you can't know. So that is why you have to always look for your meat from Kumasi Abattoir, all meat that are sorted from Kumasi Abattoir, because they are always there with us to go through proper scrutiny. And we don't compromise anything. Even if an animal costs around 18,000, 16,000, some of them are now 16, 18,000, and there is an infection, it is condemned.
Okay.
And then we bury it sanitarily.
Okay.
With chemicals so that nobody can go and exhume it. So we are sure of quality so far as Kumasi Abattoir is concerned. But where the offers and these people are coming, we don't know how they handled it. Sometimes we even see it and you can see that it is not even properly washed.
Yeah, the one at the foreign one.
Yes.
You can tell them. And so if they're not properly washed, go wash it yourself. Because even the one that you buy from Mayanka, sometimes they're not properly washed. You wash them yourself. But my concern is the fatty nature of it.
You see the fecal content in some of those offers. But you cannot see that. Abattoir were having potable water, and which we wash our meat very well.
And even when you go to the abattoir, maybe you have your own. This Christmas, for example, somebody will be able to chow upon chi. Take it to the Mayanka, the abattoir. They'll slaughter it for you and then treat it well for you. That's what they do there. Stanley, you say you have a question?
Yes, when Chief was speaking, he made mention of the fact that with chocolate, for instance, if we had milk, it could be cheaper for us because the chocolate in Ghana is very expensive. And I wanted to know if the rearers and the breeders, they have segmented them, because I know that some cows are bred specifically for producing milk, others for beef, others for for other things. When you go to Japan, for instance, they have the Kobe and the Wagyu beef, very expensive, specific feeds. Have we been able to segment our animals in that way to meet certain demands?
So that is the point I am building on to. You see, it is. Let me admit that it is very expensive getting those particular sectors being done. And here is the case. When you go out there, or you mentioned Japan and other places, governments intervene in those particular areas to be able to help the citizen raise those particular things. And here it is none.
It's zero.
It's zero.
Yes, we said for
so when
jobs.
you go to Denmark, I have been in Copenhagen before. When you go to Denmark, the butcher is a butcher who owns the animal, the abattoir, the processing up to the tail end. So they can slaughter, although they slaughter pigs more. Pig is the most consumable meat around the world. About 32% of the world population take pig, followed by poultry before beef. So when you go to Denmark, they slaughter more of this particular, they call them swine. They slaughter more of these pigs than the animals. But in Denmark, there are areas that you go, milk is even free. They give you milk free to take it. So, like we are saying, if government intervene and support us to graze all these particular sectors, we can get it.
We're wrapping up.
Okay.
When you say support, Ibrahim Wahab, Chief Butcher, what support do you want from government?
Yes.
Saja, when you get that support, what impact will it make on our economy?
Yeah.
What do you want from government?
Yes. I want government to come in. I want government to come in the first place. When you go to South Africa here, they have a meat council. They have something that they call meat council. Botswana, South Africa, even Australia, all of them have a meat council, and this particular council direct the business of that of raising cattle. They take care of the land and everything. So in the first place, I want government to come in and then set up a council that will regulate all those things and also push in money, because you can't do it without money.
When you say money, give it to individual cattle owners, or how do they put in the money?
There can be national ranch all over, so that all the time we are sure of animals available in Ghana.
And also they can
so
be
it's not necessarily given to individuals.
Dams, you see, raising animals, there can be a place being taken, like a particular land. At least let's take 50,000 acres of land or something like that. Let's start grazing animals in this particular land.
And I know that anything that government owns doesn't succeed.
Yes.
If it's for the private sector being supported, it works better than when government owns it. So with you people who are, private business minded oriented people, how can government help such people for us to reach the goal that we're looking for? Alaji, Brilla.
No, as I'm talking to you, there is a ranching committee. But ask us, none of us is part of the committee.
Who's part of the ranching committee?
They are there.
Who are they?
They are there. I told you our chief is a member of the committee, the Kumasi chief. You see, so the committee should be strengthened in terms of widening it. Every region should have a ranching committee. Even the land in Savannah region alone can cater for all the animals, all the cattle in Ghana. So we have the capacity. You see, so the committee should be widened to allow every region to have that ranching committee. As I'm talking to you now, it is only Greater Accra and Kumasi that I know that the dealers, we are active in the industry. So as for the capacity,
we have the capacity, and you're sure, Michael. I'll come to you, Michael, for your final words. Alaji Brilla, so what you're saying is this: if we look at how much we spend in importing these things from outside, you are saying that we have the capacity.
We have the capacity
to invest, to grow, consume, and export, and also make money. How long would it take us to be able to become self-sufficient locally?
Because right now, if the cattle are coming from, they come from Burkina and why, as Mike has enumerated, the exchange rate, the depreciation of the cedi to sometimes affect.
Definitely, yeah.
So if we do it in local here, it will help.
The pressure on the cedi will reduce.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one is a major factor.
Alaji, you're a breeder. If we say we want to do it and do it well and right, how long will it take for us to be able to become self-sufficient such that we'll be able to export?
It will be more than 1 year.
It will not be more than 1 year.
It will not
we'll produce enough to consume and even export.
Yes, it's our daily job.
03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. Well, the Trade and Industry Minister, Honorable Katie Tairu Hammond, Kobna Tairu Hammond, says that we need to have some restrictions on some of the things that we're importing to this country. 22 items is what he has listed. Out of the 22, some of them are the offals that we've talked about. And offals, we can by extension say some of them are the Yamadia, the Kotojues, and all that. Michael says we don't even know what animals are being slaughtered and their parts being brought in. Also, and so people are enjoying it. We are local, and interestingly enough, when people go to the market, I'm coming and say we never say 80 cities and say we shall. We want the big ones.
But the big ones we tasteless.
Kofi Bedu is on the line. Emmanuel is on the line. Alex is on the line. Let me start off with Kofi Bedu. Kofi, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Dave. How are you doing?
I am well, Kofi.
Yes, Kofi Bedu, you are right. Also known as Anana Kandu. And you see, these are the things that Anana is talking about. You see, let me first of all go to this particular topic. The message is good, but the messenger is bad. Unfortunately, Katie Amon is somebody that I shouldn't have, speaking ill of him. You see, he doesn't even understand. He was pushed to bring this out. He doesn't even seem to understand it, because at some point he said this government effort is to ensure food security in the country. Is that true? Is it true that to ensure food security in the country? Before we even embark on this, it's very good. Like I said, it's a very good message. And these are the things that Mama is trying to push as industrial country. We don't have to be an import-driven nation. It will not help us. Look, Dave, we are importing debt rather than life into this country. These are the best that are being thrown out. These people are looking for somewhere, a shithole country, to throw them away. Because, Dave, a chicken that costs 20 pounds over there is being sold here at 100 Ghana cedis. Have you found out why it's so cheap here? See, Mama brought this project, broiler project, and they put so high tariff on the imported frozen chicken.
Well, Kofi, we thank you. I know that you have a lot to say if given the opportunity, but unfortunately, time is not our friend. You can also call us and share your thoughts with us. Emmanuel, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, David.
Hi, Emma. Let's hear you, sir.
Please, I'm fine. In fact, I listened to your program this morning. I was very, I don't even know how to. You see, there is a ranch that when going to Adidome, I don't want to mention the man's name, about this cattle rally. Ghana, we are failing to think. That's what I can see. This man, he brought a white man from Italy, and the man came and introduced something to him. In the dry season, his cattle will never go out. What he does is, he will plant new maize. When the maize are like 1 month old, this man will harvest all the maize, the fresh maize. He will pack them down, make sure a tractor will pass on it, and he will be sprinkling, salt water on this maize. And when he's feeding the cattle with it, the cattle will just get a small hump of this dry maize, and the cattle will be okay. If you see how the cattle are growing and they're becoming nice, they are more than the cattle that are going outside to go and feed on themselves. So these are some of the initiatives the government need to bring in.
These are some of the initiatives that government needs to bring in. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Now, if you join us on our Facebook page on Live in the Morning, you get to appreciate what a wholesome meat is. All right? Join us on Live in the Morning on Facebook. Alex, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Let's say, sir.
This is a nice discussion. But it seems the way they are putting it, it is going to be very difficult. Previously, when I didn't have any knowledge about what goes on in the frozen food industry, whenever I hear on radio, we should ban importation of these things, I'm for it. But you see, the people in your street, they say, we have the capacity, we can do it in 1 year. I tell you, Dave, if they are aware the amount of products that come into this country, they don't have any idea. Even in a week, the quantity we consume in Ghana here, in terms of the offers, they have no idea. One trailer, do you know how many cattle you slaughter before you can get one trailer of offers? We are nowhere near that. It's good. We have to block all these importations at some point. But Ghana, as it is now, we are not ready. So we should start from somewhere.
All right, so I agree with you, Alex. The point is this. If like you rightly said, let's start from somewhere and get them. Like the 1 year he said that we can do it, maybe it could be far-fetched. But the bottom line is this. Start something, do it diligently. Gradually, you get to the level that others have reached. They didn't start from 1 and then go to 200. It was a gradual process. Let me speak to Isaac, who's also on the line. Hi, Isaac. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dave.
Welcome, Isaac.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment with Alex, the last speaker. The people in your studio failed to give us figures. I remember I listened to an interview where a professor or like somebody was saying that the importation of chicken, the amount that we import, Ghana is only able to meet 1% of that amount that is imported into the country. Now, you realize that if we are able to meet only 1% and you say we should ban it, how are we able to cater for the 99% deficit that we would have? So I think that the government having this initiative should have put in measures to making sure that by the time this initiative is out, at least we are able to produce to meet certain level of demand in the country before we are able to do this. I am for it, but I think the government consciously needs to start an initiative in the line that he wants to empower the local producers to produce more. As they produce more and we ban it, it's highly understood. But once there is no product on the market, there is higher demands on the market, and you are saying that you are not going to allow importations of these products. For me, I think it would be a form of starvation to the people of I
hear you, Isaac. Thank you very much. And I think we have time to pick one more call. George is on the line. Hi, George. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I am well, George. Good to have you as always.
Thank you, David. David, the measures are good, but first of all, have you contacted the people concerned on the ground? Have you contacted the cattle, importers, and the rice importers and the chicken importers? You see, David, you have to put measures in place. Contact them for them to be, able to produce locally before you put these things. Before you bring all these things. David, this government, I don't know how they are thinking. The same thing happened to the transport minister. He just woke up one day and scrapped the tools. And look at how he have caused this nation. KTM who was blaming the youth that their heads are like coconut and they cannot think. So is it how to think to solve a problem? He should come again.
Hear you, George. Thank you very much. And I know that some of the industry players have written to the minister wanting to have a meeting and a discussion with the minister. I hope that he makes time to listen to them so we have a win-win situation. Let's go on to WhatsApp right now and take a listen to what people are also saying there.
Dave, we cannot develop as Africans without taking care of agriculture. Why is it that the Israelis are very strong? They know the problem that they find themselves in. Therefore, every child has a mandatory to go through military kind of training. So anytime there is a problem against a country, any Israeli that they pick has some form of military training. So with just 1 or 2 weeks training, then he can be on the for defending his country. We are Africans have vast land, have best climate, and then we are importing food from other places. Our free SHS, our secondary schools, every school going child must be trained to do something about agriculture automatically alongside the program that he's doing. So when he comes out from school, he can even go up and set up his own agricultural farming without waiting for employment from somewhere. Then to create food security. When agriculture is not developed, industry cannot develop. When agriculture is not developed, we cannot be self-sustainable.
Okay, well, so Leo, just go ahead. You do your thing.
Yeah, hello, Dave. Good morning. Yes, this is Isaac. You see, I beg to differ on this discussions that you're having with your guests, but I think that they are just giving us words of mouth without figures. Now, I remember about a month ago, I listened to a program where I was informed, or where I got educated, that the poultry that we import into Ghana, the local producers are only able to produce 1% of the total percentage of.
Well, I think that Isaac called as well and made his point aside from Senator on the WhatsApp
right,
call.
In
so
this,
let's move on.
Good morning. So Uswan from Asaf. Please, I want clarification. Is it a ban or restriction on those items that the minister is going to the parliament to see for the airline? I don't get it.
A ban that the minister is calling for is a restriction. He's calling for restrictions. But again, when we say restriction, by how many percent? So let's say when it comes to the OFAF, we say, okay, we imported in 2022 some $6.5 million worth. So we're going to allow for only, $2 million worth. So that what then happens to the 4.5 that people would need to consume? So it's a restriction. By what percentage are we going to be restricting it? And the other concern that people have about what he's saying is the fact that there's a committee going to be set up by his office that will then decide as to who would import or who would not do that. That's where some issues are for the minority. Take a listen to this one as well on WhatsApp.
Good morning, David, and good morning to your listeners. This is Kojo from Bomso. Seems the last time you made a joke of what I was suggesting, that you would come to your house and you see so many fowls in your house. They are not yours, and you said probably then I was lucky. Then I should slaughter them. There's a phenomenon in my area, Bomso, at the moment. I don't know, probably it's in other areas as well. You see cattle stranded, even in the night. The last time, 10 p.m., there were cattle in the area stranded. Yesterday, there were about 30 plus sheep in my area, Bomso, stranded, 30 sheep. You have nobody guarding them. Please, this is to the Fulani chief. He should please tell his people. And to the local council, the Ofoikrom Assembly, please, you should be up and doing. What are you doing? Immediately something is challenging, you don't want to do it at all. When it is easy and you can get easy chop, then you are on it. Please deal with the situation. Why should you be in your area and seeing cattle sheep 10 o'clock in the night?
Well, you have a point on that very one. I mean, sometimes we stand at the frontage of Love FM and then we see a lot of cattle crossing the streets, 12 cattle crossing the street by themselves, nobody watching over them and all that. And again, per our bylaws, these animals are supposed to be arrested. Whether sheep, whether cattle, whether dog or whatever, arrest them and take them to the abattoir and other proper places. But we're not doing what we're supposed to do. This is Ghana. All the way have the finest of laws. Michael, let me start off with you. What would you want to say finally before you take leave of us?
Okay, thank you very much. What I will want to advise your listeners and viewers is that...
So you want to suggest to my listeners?
Yes, suggest. Okay, thank you very much. You just don't get up and catch an animal and slaughter in your house and just consume with your family. You are not an expert. You are not a veterinary officer. So it is always good you go to the abattoir to slaughter your animal so that we inspect it. One guy came and slaughtered his goat for his birthday family. We realized that the goat was infected with disease, so we have to condemn it. And he thanked us very much, and that is what people should be doing. So during the Christmas, please, the youth, don't just gather, slaughter anyhow. And the family members, please, all of you, come to the abattoir. We will do the needful, the scrutiny, the proper scrutiny, and make sure the meat that you are taking out is wholesome.
Alaji Brella, please.
I must thank you. We are grateful for this platform or opportunity. I still on it concerning the ranching committee. It should be strengthened, and at the same time it should be widening for every region to be in, so that we get the support from the government, and inshallah we'll be able to deliver, so that you will feed our people with the local content.
Alhaji Bula, thank you very much. And Ibrahim Wahab?
Thank you very much for the opportunity given us today. I will want to appeal to government to at least take this particular sector seriously and help build the sector. I believe this particular sector can help us with our economic issues, can help us at least even strengthen our city. And I also want to tell the whole world that in fact we are capable of producing to feed at least the local the local consumption, because this thing started less than 10 years ago. Less than 10 years ago. What were we doing? The butchers in Ghana, together with the cattle dealers, were feeding the country without going out there to bring those particular meat in here.
Okay.
So we still have that particular capacity if our products will be patronized. We still have the abattoir. We have not Kumasi Abattoir alone. We have one sitting in Accra. which is virtually not doing anything currently.
I mean, that is Ghana for you. We'll make time and talk. I'm having a lot of messages, even from KNUST.
Yes.
The lectures, people are talking about so many things. They send me messages.
Yes.
It's something that has just begun. I think we need to explore some more. We'll do some more talk about it. But before you finally leave us in the studio, so Michael, what do you want to say?
Yes, I want to let the public be aware that Abattoir, we have our meat products, some of them at the Poku Trading. We have door to door. We have some right at our company.
Somebody wants directions to the
Abattoir. The Kumasi Abattoir is at Kase in that side area from Brewery.
Okay.
Then you branch, you get us there.
Okay.
And then the butchers that slaughter from Kumasi Abattoir and sell, some are closer to the abattoir, that's the butcher's palace. Some are at Kagitia Market. When you go and you are looking for all the settler markets, our meat is available there. When you go and you are looking for abattoir meat, you see our numbers. We paste numbers. When they were working, you see some number pasted 80. This means these are serially the identification that you can.
Thank you very much.
Make.
Thank you very much. Michael Tongbang is the production manager at Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited. Mike, thanks very much for your time. We didn't have time to talk about the employers we have and all that. And we also have had Ibrahim Wahab, who is the chief butcher, who also joined us in the studios of Love 99.5. Plus Alhaji Baba Brela, he's the acting chairman for the Kumasi Cattle Breeders and Dealers Association. Gentlemen, thank you very much. But next time when you come, bring us some meat. Why?
Okay.
Bring us some meat. This guy likes it 10 times. I don't like the
my number out. Anybody want assistance?
We'll do that show.
My fridge needs to be stocked with some offals.
All right, so thank you very much for passing through. Well, the conversation continues on the Super Morning Show with other industry players like the Guta, the Beverages Society and all that. But before we join the field, listen, I am so cool because Betway's cash out, listen, just got way better. Now, their enhanced early, partial, and auto cash out feature lets you cash out bets or your bets early. You can also cash out portions of your ongoing bets or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this will give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh and terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. It's not for persons under the age of 18. Betway, listen, bet way more. Now, MTN says I should tell you that it's a new world of doing business and your business should not be left out, which of course is indeed is true. It's time to get a Momo for business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple and fast. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompts or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. Now, when you do that, you will receive a reference number which you will use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Note that the application is free. Do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on Play Store or on App Store. All right, so let me tell you about, something that APSA is doing. Now, take the shoemaker down the street, for instance. He doubles as a shop attendant,